Hello, Nancy. Okay, so we finished color coding every sound pattern until page 6. So we're going to go over to page 7 and make sure that everything is color coded there. I know we've already done A and A, and we've already done B for bed. We've already done Qu for quiet and K for cough. So let's go see what's missing, and then we'll go through each sound pattern one by one. So on this page, we have the letter U, V, W, and X. So the letter U makes 3 different sounds. The first sound is A for umbrella, and that one is pink. The second sound is U for unicorn, and that one is red. And the third one is U, like in the word pull. Pull as in this girl wants to pull the rope in this direction, but her friend wants to pull the rope in the other direction. So when the letter U does not sound like A for umbrella, and when it does not sound like U for unicorn, it sounds like U. And when it sounds like U, we put a cap on it in our coding. Okay, so A, U, and U. Let us quickly go through the sounds in the word umbrella, in the word unicorn, and in the word pull. Okay? So, A, M, Br, E, L, A. Umbrella. U, N, E, K, or, N. Unicorn. And P, U, L, pull. Okay? So what you will do next to the 3 sounds for the letter U, you will identify A for umbrella and make it pink, U for unicorn and make it red, U like in the word pool and make it blue. So A for umbrella is pink, U for unicorn is red, and U, like in the word pool, is blue. A for umbrella is pink, U for unicorn is red, and U, like in the word pool, is blue. A for umbrella is pink, U for unicorn is red, U, like in the word pool, is blue. A for umbrella is pink, U for unicorn is red, and U, like in the word pool, is blue. And you will do that next to V for vest as well. Color code them all in the same way, top and bottom. A, U, U. A, U, U. Pink, red, blue. Pink, red, blue. And then we have A for umbrella, and A for umbrella is pink. That's next to W for watch. A for umbrella is pink, and A for umbrella is pink. U for unicorn is red, and U for unicorn is red. U, like in pool, is blue. U, like in pool, is blue. Okay? And then you will have captured all the sounds for the letter U on page 7. Okay, and then you will go on over to the letter V, which makes 1 sound, and the sound is a V, like in the word vest. The sounds in the word vest are V, E, St, vest. So we're gonna adopt the color blue for V for vest. Okay, so you will go and you will find all the V sounds on page 7. You will identify all the V sounds on page 7 and you will color code them. V for vest is blue. 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 V for vest is blue, and V for vest is blue. And that will be all of them on page 7. And then we will go to the letter W, which makes one sound, and the sound is W, like in the word watch, and the sounds in the word watch are W, O, Ch, watch. You might be asking yourself, I know that the letter A is not supposed to make the O sound. And you're quite right, because the only three sounds that the letter A should be able to make by itself are A, and R. So what happens when a letter makes a completely different sound to the sounds that we know it to make? Then what we do with it in the coding is we put the double line on it. So the double line tells us we already know that the letter A is not supposed to sound like R. But in this particular word, we need it to sound like R for the word to make sense. So that's why we are using the double line to make an exception and to give it a passport and to give it one chance to make a sound that it's not supposed to make. Okay, so in the word watch, the letter A does not sound like A for apple. It does not sound like A for ape. And it does not sound like R, like in the word bath, bath. So it does not sound like A, does not sound like A, does not sound like R. So in this word, it sounds like R. So we put the double line on it to remind ourselves that's not what the letter A is supposed to sound like. Okay, so let's make the sounds then in the word watch. W, A, ch, watch. I use my watch to read the time. Okay, and so the W sound in the word watch is orange. So you are going to identify it for me on page 7, and you're only going to find 3 of them on page 7. And you're going to color code them in color orange. W for watch is orange. W for watch is orange. And W for watch is orange. Okay? And then we're going to move on to the letter X, which makes 3 different sounds. But on page 7, we are only going to focus on one sound. So the sound that it's making in this word sounds exactly like the name of the letter. And the name of the letter is X. So in this word, it sounds like X. And the rest of the word sounds like this. X-R-A. X-R-A. So it's X-ray. An X-ray is basically a picture that shows the structure of your bones. So if the doctor needs to see what's happening with your bones, he puts you through a machine and it takes a picture for him of what your bones look like, okay? And that is called an X-ray. 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 And the color that we're going to use for the letter X when it sounds like X is red. So you're going to color code it on the sound pattern here on page 7, and you're going to make X for X-ray red, X for X-ray red, and X for X-ray red. Okay. Every other sound pattern, every other sound should already be color coded. You will remember that the letter E, when it sounds like E for elephant, it's orange. So E for elephant is orange, E for elephant is orange, and E for elephant is orange. And then you will remember when when the letter E sounds like the name of the letter. So when it sounds like E, which it does in the word he, and in the word she, and in the word evil. So when the letter E sounds like E, like in he and she, and when it sounds like E, like in evil, it will be color blue. So E, like in he and she, is blue. E, like in he and she, is blue. E, like in he and she, is blue. And there are 3 more at the bottom. E for evil is blue. E for evil is blue, and E for evil is blue. So please will you color code every single letter on page 7, and we'll check it tomorrow during our lesson. Peace out for now.